everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to do a try chapter tag because I have these 5 books that have been sitting on my shelf for a while, and for different reasons, I just don't think I'm going to like them. However, I have way too much FOMO to just blindly unhaul them, and some of them I've heard good things about, so what I'm going to do today is take these 5 books that I think I'm not going to like, and I'm going to try the first chapter. And if the first chapter is like clear that I don't love them, that they are not going to work for me, then I'm going to let them go. If I'm intrigued by the first chapter, then I'm going to keep them, and I'm going to try to read them here in the next couple months. So the first one is Nora Roberts' The Awakening. So this is the first in her Dragonheart Legacy series. It says, in the realm of Talam, a teenage warrior named Keegan emerges from a lake holding a sword, representing both power and the terrifying responsibility to protect the Fae. In another realm known as Philadelphia, a young woman has just discovered that she possesses a treasure of her own, and when she spends a portion of it to search for her long-lost father in Ireland, she'll stumble into a world of magic and find a destiny she never knew she had. So, reading that, I honestly have almost no interest in this. However, I have heard really good things, and I've heard that it is like a dragon sci-fi fantasy book or fantasy book for people who don't love fantasy. And it's got these really pretty pages. So I don't know. It's also very long and mass market. So this one I'm really close to just blindly unhauling. But you guys, let me know your thoughts about it. Next is The Devil Wears Scrubs by Frida McFadden. So I grabbed this from a little free library because Frida McFadden, I really like her books. This says, Jane McGill would sell her soul for an hour of sleep. Newly minted Dr. Jane McGill is in hell. Not literally, of course, but between her drug addict patients, sleepless nights on call, and battling wits with the sadistic yet charming sexy surgeon, Jane can't imagine an afterlife much worse than her first month of medical internship at County Hospital. And then there's the devil herself, Jane's senior resident, Dr. Alyssa Morgan. When Alyssa becomes absolutely hellbent on making her new interns pay tenfold for the deadly sin of incompetence, Jane starts to worry that she may not make it through the year with her soul or her sanity still intact. So I like medical books. I just don't know. Like between the sexiness and is this even a thriller or is this a drama? I don't know. I'm skeptical of this one. So we'll see. Then this one, I'm the most interested in. We have The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So this one, I don't know. It's got the tropes that I like. I'm just really afraid that it's going to be too literary for me. So it says, a dazzling novel about all the choices that go into a life well lived. So between life and death, there's a library. Up until now, Nora's life has been full of misery and regret. She feels she has let everyone down, including herself. But things are about to change. When she finds herself in the Midnight Library, she has a chance to make things right. The books in the Midnight Library enable Nora to live as if she had done things differently. Each one contains a different life, a possible world in which she made different choices that played out in an infinite number of ways, affecting everyone she knew, as well as many people she never met. With the help of an old friend, she can now undo every decision she regrets as she tries to work out her perfect life. But things aren't always what she imagined they'd be, and soon her choices place the library and herself in extreme danger. Before time runs out, she must answer the ultimate question, what is the best way to live? So that premise sounds so good to me. But I've heard mixed things about this. Not real, I've heard people love it, but the people that love it, don't always have the same taste as me. It's got really short chapters, and so I'm really interested. I just am hoping the writing style works for me. I've never read a Matt Haig, so let me know about this one too. Then this one. I think Becca from Becca Books and Bujo says she has this too, and we can buddy read it, so that might help. But The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. So this one has deckled edges. My mom, this is kind of pretty, but my mom had a friend just blindly unhaul a ton of books to her, and my mom gave me a lot of them. And so this is one of them, and so is the next one. When Margaret Lee opened the door mythologize. There you go. Is that the word? Their birth. So begins the prologue of reclusive author Vida Winter's collection of stories, which are as famous for the mystery of the missing 13th tale as they are for the delight and enchantment of the 12 that do exist. The enigmatic Winter has spent 6 decades creating various outlandish life histories for herself, all of them inventions that have brought her fame and fortune, but have kept her violent and tragic past a secret. Now old and ailing, she at last wants to tell the truth about her extraordinary life. She summons biographer Margaret Lee, a young woman for whom the secret of her own birth, hidden by those who loved her most, remains an ever-present pain. Struck by a curious parallel between Miss Winter's story and her own, Margaret takes on the commission. As Vida disenters the life she meant to bury for good, Margaret is mesmerized. It's a tale of gothic strangeness featuring the Angelfield family, including the beautiful and willful Isabel, the feral twins Adeline and Emmeline, a ghost, a governess, a topiary garden, and a devastating fire. So again, I don't know. I mean, it's bookish, but this doesn't hold a lot of appeal for me. And then last is The Kingdoms of Savannah by George Dawes Green. So this was also a part of that massive unhaul. Again, really pretty, but I think these are all going to be either too literary or too fantasy for me. At least these last two. But this one is, Savannah may appear to be some town out of a fable with its fine flowers, turreted mansions, and ghost tours that romanticize the city's history. But look deeper and you'll uncover secrets, past and present, that tell a more sinister tale. It's the story at the heart of this book. And so it begins quietly on a balmy southern night as some locals gather at Bo Peep's, one of the town's favorite watering holes. Within an hour, however, one man will be murdered and his companion will be disappeared. An unlikely detective, Morgana Musgrove, doyen, I don't know what that word is, of Savannah society, will soon be called upon to unravel the mystery of these crimes. Morgana is an imperious, demanding, and conniving woman whose 4 grown children are weary of her schemes, but one by one she inveigles them into helping her with her investigation. I already feel stupid, and I'm just reading the synopsis. And soon the family uncovers some terrifying truths that will rock Savannah's power structure to its core. Moving from the homeless encampments that ring the city to the stately homes of Savannah's elite, Green's novel brilliantly depicts the underbelly of a city with a dark history and the strangely mesmerizing dysfunction of a complex family. Okay, so if I had to guess, I would say, let's see, I'm going to put these in order. Okay, I think I'm going to like, the two that I think have potential to be keepers are, I think I'm going to like this one the most, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This one also has potential. The Devil Wears Scrubs by Frida McFadden. These 3, I'm not sure, like I will not be surprised at all if I pretty much immediately unhaul them, which means I'm going into this try chapter with a bad taste in my mouth. So I think The Kingdom of Savannah will be next, then The Awakening, and then The 13th Tale. So yeah, we'll see. I'm going to try a chapter of each, maybe not today, but sometime in the next couple days, and I will report back as I try a chapter. I think I'm going to try a chapter both physically and on audio to see if, because like some of these, especially that I'm feeling like about, have the potential to catch me on audio in a way that they may not physically. So I'm going to try both and see what I think, and I will report back. You guys let me know. You pause the video right now and guess. How many of these 5 am I going to keep to read, and how many am I going to unhaul? Or guess which ones will get kept. That one's probably the smaller list. So, yeah, let me know your guesses, and I will update as soon as I start. Well, this is embarrassing because it is many days later, and I'm wearing the same sweatshirt. But I swear I have more sweatshirts. If you guys have not been following any vlogs, we had a mold issue in our house, and so my entire closet had to be demoed, and so I'm living out of Rubbermaids of what we could like wash well and make sure it was clean. And so I have a couple, like very few items of clothing to wear. So sorry, not sorry. It's clean. It's many days later, etc. So today I got a babysitter for 2 hours because it's spring break around here. And so I have a babysitter for 2 hours. Well, of course, today is the day my kids sleep in. It's the morning and I have the babysitter from 10 to 12. So one of my kids slept in and was still eating breakfast when she got here. The other one was still finishing up some school stuff. Like it is just, so now it's 10:30. They finally went outside. And then this one woke up right as I sat down to film. So Last night was a night, and there are two types of people in this world, and I feel like they're always married. So one of those people, it wakes up in the night, immediately back to sleep. The other wakes up in the night and is up for 2 hours. Guess which one I am. So I am up forever in the night, and so I decided just to go ahead and do my try a chapter tag completely on audio and see if that kind of narrowed things down for me. So let's just get into the books. So I made some notes because it was like 2 a.m. So I wanted to make sure that I had good notes. So the first one that let's go in order that I actually tried them. So this first one, The Awakening. This was very similar to what I expected. So in the first chapter, it may even be a prologue. Some of these, I think it was a prologue. It is, first of all, it's like a 15 and a half hour audiobook, which is for me anyway. But in the first one, so the leader has died or is gone or something, and now they are trying to elect a new leader. And we're getting the character, like the main perspective of a boy named Keegan, and he is like in the running. So I guess they have young leaders or whatever. And so let's see, we're just meeting characters in this prologue. There's lots of fantasy talks about gods and swords and dragon hearts and flaming stones and all this stuff that I was like, I don't care at all. And it's 15 and a half hours. So this one is definitely getting unhauled. Then I listened to the beginning of the 13th tale. Now this one is, I'm on the fence. I need you guys to help me. So it's another 15 and a half hour audiobook. So, which yikes, but this has long chapters, and it's a bookstore owner. She and I think her dad own a bookstore, and she got copies of of books from like an elusive author who's a big mystery in and of herself. She's very prolific, and we get like a letter from the author that is talking about how much like better stories are than the truth. And so this author has written a bunch of fiction. Our main character, I don't think they really carry fiction in their store, but so there's a lot of hullabaloo about this author, and for some reason our main character may be the one to tell this author's story. So I don't know. This is one, like I said, I need to be convinced. This is the one that Becca from Becca Books and Bujo has. And so I texted her and was like, do you still want a buddy read? And she said, yes. And so I think I'm going to keep this one. Like, if it were on my own, I think I would just unhaul it because 15 and a half hours, I'm interested. Like, I love the bookishness of this, but my interest level is like a 3. And so, but the experience of buddy reading a bookish book with Becca sounds really nice. So I think I'm going to keep it and try it, and we'll see. So then, let's see. The next one that I tried was The Devil Wears Scrubs by Frida McFadden. And I actually liked this first chapter a lot. Frida McFadden has this writing style that just like hooks you. It is compulsively readable. It's easy, all of that. So it is, let's see, like a 7-hour audio, I think, which is also really doable. Let's see. This is one thing that really drove me nuts in the beginning. We meet our main character, who is Jane McGill. She's like a doctor, a resident or something, training to be a doctor. And she is commenting like relentlessly on everybody's appearance. She gets this patient who is obese, and she's talking like so cruelly about his appearance. And then her like supervisor, boss, I don't know all the medical terms, but talking about her appearance and her body. So really kind of like turned off by this main character. However, it ends with her finding like this wound on her patient, and this definitely gives women's fiction vibes more than thriller vibes, because I think it's just like it's kind of Grey's Anatomy-esque, but I want to know like what's going on with this guy. So this one I'm definitely going to keep. It's 7 hours, which if I listen on 2 times speed is 3.5 hours, so not a huge investment, and I'm curious enough and I like the writing style well enough, so there's that. Then we have Kingdoms of Savannah. So this one, it's 11 and a half hours on audio, which is not nearly as long as I would have thought. But this starts with an author's note about how much of this is true and like how this is based very heavily on true things. And it's kind of like the seedy underbelly of Savannah, and how not really even that as much as like our main character is talking about how this is a town that kind of thrives on ghost tours and death and all of that. And we get the perspective of people who it tells us are going to die, I think. And it's got really long chapters. This entire book has 5 chapters. I hate that. But so this girl thinks she lives in a kingdom. I don't know if it's like a literal kingdom or not. And someone comes in and says like the king or leader needs her. And so, yeah, she's really loyal to the kingdom. So she's like dropping everything to do that. I don't know. I was confused already. And 5 chapters in an entire 11.5-hour audiobook. Absolutely not. This one's getting unhauled. And then the last one is The Midnight Library. So this one, the premise alone, it's like, gosh, maybe, but I've heard such mixed reviews. I've heard people love it. I've heard people not love it. And this is almost 9-hour audio. So again, not a huge investment. But this also has really short chapters, and it's about like the days before someone chooses to die. So she's talking about, like she says in the beginnings, like it's got, conversation about rain is 1 page. 19 years later, the man at the door is like 2 or 3 pages. String theory. So I read a handful of these, and it's all like 9 hours before she decided to die. 9.5 hours. So it's like leading up and up and up till the time that I'm guessing is going to attempt suicide and then get into this limbo area. So I am really intrigued by this. So I'm going to keep it. So, these 2 definitely adios, getting unhauled. I hope somebody else wants them. They're in great condition. So check my Pango if you're interested. I know that like these have an audience. It's just not me. And then, I will say, I am like probably going to just go ahead and continue this one right now because it's a short audiobook. I was really like, it's a very easy writing style. So there's that. Sorry. This one I will continue while I've got it on hold. So I have it on hold or on audio for 21 days. So in the next 21 days, I'll read this. And then this one I'm least interested in, but because Becca is going to read it with me, I am excited to read it whenever she is available to read it. So keeping 3, this one I could be convinced either way, but I'm keeping 3, unhauling 2. That feels really good. And I am more excited about at least the Midnight Library and the Frida McFadden book than I was before. Like before I was like looking at them and like, I really don't want to do that. But now after trying the first chapter, I'm kind of excited. So that is how that went. So I feel like I was fairly accurate in guessing what I would think. Like The Awakening, I've had on multiple TBRs and not read it. So it's pretty, like I was pretty confident I was not going to love that. The Kingdom of Savannah gives me the icks. The 13th Tale, the deckled edges and all of it kind of give me the ick. But it's bookish and it felt like it was a very approachable writing style. So yeah. And all of them have been, like these 3 that I kept were more approachable than I thought. So, there's that. Let me know what you think of these books and if you would have done something different or what you would have done. So we're at our limit. Here's to the vlog of this sweatshirt. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.